Hi guys, and welcome to Java Calculator using an applet. I'm going to show you guys how this works. I'm going to clear it and let's just play around with it, and there we go. Let's divide that by whatever. There. Just for your information, this calculator is actually at a request of one of my viewers out there who would like me to develop a simple calculator using applet with the 4 basic operators, although I've added 5. So let me show you this guy's comments. I'm just going to minimize that. There. And right here, if you guys can see, that is the comment right there. Can you create a simple calculator applet that implement the 4 basic arithmetic operators? Okay, so that's what I am going to do right now. So I'm going to, first of all, let's open up my Java, and I'm going to exit out of this. Now let's go back into File. Okay, I'm actually using Java NetBeans, if you guys can see that. So I'm going to go straight to File. Let's select New Project right there. And I'm going to be selecting Java with Ants, Java application. Click on Next. And in here, I'm going to give my project a name. I just call that Calculator. I think I may have other calculator on board, so I'm going to call this Calculator Applets. There we go. And right here, I'm going to leave this on. Let's click on Finish. There we go. So now that my development environment is ready, very first thing I'd like to do is to import the following library. Okay, underneath here, let's enter as follows. So I'm going to start by importing the Java utility package itself. Then I will also import the Java Abstract Windows tool. So come right down here, import Java Abstract Windows tool. Java Abstract Windows tool event will be imported as well. Let's come right down here and just say dot events, and here I'm just going to enter a star here. Alright, and also a star here, which means I'm importing it all. Okay, I'm now going to import the Java applet itself, java dot applet dot all as well. And I'm going to need TextField as well, so that's going to be java dot swing dot j TextField. There we go. Right, that's cool. Now you see where I have my public class calculator applets. I am going to extend this since it's going to be an applet. So let's say extend. Let's just enter applets in there. Right. Okay, now that is taken care of, so I'm going to now come right underneath here. Let's create something that I'm going to call my display. Okay, right underneath my public static void main here, I'm going to create a display that I'm going to be using. So let's just get rid of all of these for now. So let's call that class. I'm going to say class display, and that is going to be extend panel. There. Okay, you see this very class display that I've just created. I'm now going to create an object right here. Okay, so right underneath the public class here, let's say display. I'll just give that a name. We can call it display as well, and that is going to be equals new display. Enter your parentheses there. Okay, so that is sorted now. So the next thing we now want to do is to define all of the data that we have and the system itself inside this class, display class. So right inside the display class, let's start by declaring the following. I'm going to say double digit 1 and initialize it with a 0. I will also create an integer. This integer, I'm going to use it for my operators. Okay, also initialize with 0. Then I'll create a boolean, and that will be for the equals. That's equals false. There. Then let's create another integer, and that is going to be, let's say, maximum length. That will be equals 10. And let's create a string character here that we will call value text. There. Let's do one thing, and I'm just going to tab this so that you guys can see it properly. Let's make it a little bit neater. Right. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and one more thing. Now, let's get in touch with the TextField, and I'm going to call my TextField txt display, and that is going to be equals new TextField. There. Okay. Now the next thing we want to do is, I'm going to come right here, so right below the display that I enter underneath the public class here. What I want to do now is, I want to create a method that I will use to initialize the appearance of the interface and so on. So let's say public void, I will just call it init and there. So I'm going to first of all start by, let's set layout, and that is going to be new with border layout, enter parentheses there. Now the next thing is, I'm going to now, okay, let's close that, and the next thing is, I'm now going to, let's say we add, and I want to position my display, let's say to the north. Okay, and what am I positioning to the north? That would be the display. There we go. Semicolon. Okay, let's create another method for my keyboard, so I can just call that Keypad. Okay guys, let's do one thing. You see, inside this public static void, I'm going to just design my interface. Let's say frame, and I'll call that F. That will be equals new frame. And this very frame, I'm just going to enter calculator in there. There. Now the next thing I want to do is, I am going to create another, I think I should create a class, but before then, let's say F dot, I want the size to be, let's say size, that would be about, I'm going to make that about 500 comma by 600. So the width is 500, the height is 600. Now I'm also going to say dot add, I want it to be centered. There we go. And there is going to be an object that I'm going to call. Okay, for now I'm just going to leave that, then I will add that as we go along. Then I will also say f.show there. and in here. So let's just comment that out. I'll be back there, and I'm going to say f dot set the layout. So let's say set layout, and that's going to be new border layout. That is fine. Okay, get rid of one. Now delete that. Okay, then that is fine. Okay, the next thing is underneath here I'm going to create a very small function that I'm going to use to exit out. So let's say f dot add, I'm going to call that window listener. There, bring that up so that you guys can see it. F dot add window listener, I'll use that to exit out. I'm going to say that is equals new window adapter, else we won't be able to exit the frame or the form itself. Okay, let's just press enter and enter curly braces in here. Okay, now in there I'm going to say add override public void window closing, and that is going to be window event E. There, come right down, enter curly braces. We need to close this up. Okay, now let's declare a variable. So I'm going to call that int status, and all I just then need to do is system dot exit, and what are you exiting? That will be the status, and the value will be equals 0. There we go. So enter an S there to correct that, and here I'm just going to close that up. Now close up the bracket there. This is the bracket that I'm closing up, so that I'm going to use that to just exit out of the system. Okay, just to prove to you guys, I'm going to run it just to show you guys the frame so far. That's all I've done. Come right down, there's a lot to go through, so I'm going to click on compile, and let's just run that and you guys see what I'm talking about. Run. There we go. That is just the frame. Okay, now I can close that. Supposing I don't have these lines of code, let's assume I comment it out. I will not be able to close it using the close X to the right of it. Run. Okay, look here now. Check this out. You see that? I cannot close it. I can only come here and close that. And that is the purpose of these lines of codes in here. So I'm going to uncomment that. So that's just a few tricks for you guys. Okay, I'm now going to create a class underneath here that I'm going to call keyboard or keypad, something like that, whatever. So let's come down here and just say class keypad, and that will be, let's say, extend panel. Right, and also I'm going to ask you to implement action list now. So let's say implement or implements action list now. There we go. Okay, so let's just click on here and let's ask it to implement all abstract methods for now. Alright, so that should take care of that for now, because I might end up changing it. Now the next thing I want to do again is I'm going to now create the object keypad. So let's just grab hold of this. I'm going to create that right inside where I initialize, right here. You see where I have okay, let's say keypad is going to be called keypad, so let's use this as lowercase here, and that is going to be new keypad. There. Now that that is done, I'm going to now add the keypad to the center. So let's come in here and say add keypad, that to be to the center. So that would be for all my buttons there. So that is taken care of right inside the public void initialize. Okay, back into my keypad again. Right here now, I'm now going to do the following, and that will be me creating all of the buttons that I need inside here. So I'm going to create an object button, and this very object button, the very first one, I'm going to call it BC. That's clear. I want to create another one that I would call BCE. Then B mold. Get rid of this, comma. Then the number one would be 7, B7, B8, B9, then B4, that's button 4, button number 5, button number 6, B6. Then I will have B1, B2, B3, and B0. So all of the numeric values are in there. Okay, let's add the operators. I'm going to start with B add. Yeah, I'm going to call it add. B subtract, or maybe division, subtract. Then or maybe just say B minus, B multiply, B divide, plus minus PM. B equals, B decimal. There. Okay, those are all my buttons. Now that all the buttons are created, let's do one thing. I'm going to say keypad. I want the keypad to do as follows for me. Okay, what the keypad will do is, let's set the font. Let's say font. That is going to be font, that will equals new font. Yeah, new font. And I'm going to just make that area, comma, and the fonts, I'm going to make the font bold, font dot bold, bold. Okay, what about the size of the font? We can make that about 30. There we go. Font is taken care of. This should be uppercase. Change that to uppercase. Right. Now, the next thing is, I'm going to set the color. Do we need color? I'm going to just make that, okay, yeah, let's say number. The number color would be for the operators, while we leave the the numbers out of it. So I'm going to say equals new color, and I'm just going to make that cadet blue. 95 by 158 by 160. That is cadet blue. I'll say set font, and that is going to be font. That's good. Now for the very first button, that will be to the left, so that's going to be BC. That will be declared. So let's say BC, that will be equals new button, and the data on it is going to be C. Let's add BC. That's uppercase. And the background for BC is going to be color. So let's say BC dot set background sets background color is going to be, that is correct. Good. And we also want the action listener. So BC dot add action listener. That is fine. Okay, I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other buttons. So the next one is going to be BE, the button BE. Copy and paste that. So let's just change this to BE, and here it's going to be CE, B, CE and CE. So change this as well, and this there. That is that done. Now let's add modulus to it. So that will be modulus. So that is it right here. Where is modulus here? Grab all of that and just paste it right there, and the data on it here as well. Okay, then well, I will have to do the plus minus as well. So that's 1 2 3 4. Then grab all of these, paste PM plus minus, and this is plus minus here, plus minus, and I'm going to use the Unicodes here for the plus minus. That is \U 0000 B1. Yeah, I believe, and this is meant to be lowercase u. Change that to lowercase. Yeah, that is fine. And these 4 buttons will be right at the top, so that will be 1 2 3 4. Okay, now let's create the ones that will be underneath, and that is going to be the number button. So come right down here, paste that in there. So this is going to be B7, and this is going to be 7 there. B7, I'm going to leave the the background. There's no background color for those ones, so that's fine. So the next one is going to be B8. Copy that, paste. That's 8, 9. So change this to 8, 9. No, that's 9, 9, and 9 here, and this is 9. Why this is 8? There. Okay. Now, and I want to create another one for the plus sign, because right beside 9 is a plus. So paste that in there. This is going to be B addition, B add. We have background color as well. Add, and this one is just addition sign, so that's good. That's easy to take care of. Alright, the next one after it, that's going to be 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6, so I can just copy all of these, copy everything here, 4, 5, 6, so that will be 7, and so on, copy, bring it down. We are almost done with the button, so this is going to be subtract. I think this one is called minus. M-I-N, something like that, I'll call it. Yeah, that is minus, and minus here. This is going to be 6. And there we go. The next one here is going to be 5, 5, and 5, and that will be 4, 4, and 4. So we are almost done with the buttons. So one we have, that's 3, so it's going to be 5 by 3, so copy all of these. The next one is going to be 1, 2, 3, and another operator. Come right down here. So this is 1, 1, 1. This is 2, 2, and 2. We have 3, 3 there. And the operator this time around, that is going to be mod there. And this is multiplication as well. There we go. Right, so right underneath we're going to have 0 and a couple of operators. We'll copy this, paste, that will be 0, 0 here, 0, and a 0, and here this is going to be an operator, so that will be the decimal. Okay, decimal, B decimal here as well, and B decimal here. Get rid of this. Alright, and this is going to be decimal. There we go. Right beside the decimal is going to be the equals, so grab this, equals and division, so I can just copy both. Equals there, and this is going to be division here, and change this to division. And this, that will be the equals, EQU, yeah. Alright, paste and paste here. Okay, looking good. All the buttons are in place now, but nothing will happen not until I actually set the layout. So I'm going to say layout is going to be a new layer. That's a new grid layout, and the format is going to be 5 by 4 by 4 and 4 there. Close that. So let's correct all this error. I have that should be a bracket there, and here that should be a D. Okay guys, so if I run it now, really nothing, you guys won't be able to see anything more than just the framework itself. Okay, so we still need one or two things. Now let me come in here and I'm going to run it so that you guys get that straight, that you won't be able to see anything just now. There we go, there's nothing there. So let's close that. Now for us to be able to see all of these buttons that we just added, just the buttons alone, the text box, you won't be able to see that as well for now. So I'm going to go right up here. Let me copy this and create an object with that. Copy that, and I'm going to go straight into the main. Let's say the main right here. Okay, underneath here is fine. Remember, I actually commented this out because I do need to create that object. So I'm going to say calculator applet. Just call it calculator applet as well, maybe with lowercase. Yeah, with lowercase. Now that would be equals new calculator applet. There. Now I'm going to call these calculator applets inside this frame here, and type comma there and just paste that in there, and that's it. If you guys can still remember, right at the beginning I entered this and I commented it out because the object hasn't been created just yet. And that's all there is to that. But there's one more thing that we need to do. We have to get it initialized. So let's come in here, paste that in here. That's a dot initialize, and that's it. That's all there is to that. Okay, I think that should work now. We should be able to see our calculator. So let's save that, compile and run. We'll be able to see all of the buttons, but no, you see that all the buttons are now in place. Oh, look at this, I need to enter back color here as well. Okay, close that and let's go back down there. Look for buttons, button O right underneath here. Yeah, that is it. Just grab hold of this, copy, and right underneath here and say button O dot there, and that's all there is to that. Save, compile and run, and there we go. That's my pattern in place. Okay, alright, so now what is missing up here is the display. So I'm going to exit out. Let's go back right underneath here where we have the display. So right in here, I'm going to initialize the display in here. Let's just say display. That will be, and in there first of all set the layout. That's going to be new border. Layout. There. Now I'm going to set the background color white. Yeah, okay, let's come down here and just say background color, no, background, that is going to be color dot white. Yeah, sorted. Now my display is called JTXT display, so come right down here, JTXT display dot set horizontal. Where is horizontal? Horizontal alignment, and I want that to be to the right. So the set text field to the right. Place text field in there, dot right there. And What about the font? I'm going to add the font. Just jtxt.font, else the thing will be very small. Dot set font, and the font is going to be new font. That should be uppercase. New font, and the font name, I'm going to call that area as well, comma, font dot bold, and as a plus font dot italic. Okay, font dot italic, comma, I'm going to make the size approximately 40. There. Now let's add one more thing. Let's say add this straight to the center of the screen, center, and that is jtxt display. Then I'm just going to say reprint. There. Okay, so that is done, I believe. Okay guys, so that is all done. So I'm going to run it. It's kind of like so long because of all of the lines of code, so let's compile and run anyway. Run. There we go, look at that, and that is it right there. Okay, so that is fine. So all we then need to now do is to take care of the operators and so on. Also with that, I'm going to call it the end of the first part of this tutorial. See you guys shortly.